Hello, my name is Summer Jenee, and welcome back to my channel. I have my book review on Kill Chain by Christian Brose. I know I started a previous video on it, and I realized I messed up the title and author on that report. So this is the actual review for that book. So the central theme for the book to me was, as a country, we must get away from procuring things with an antiquated mindset if we want to be offensively and defensively ready for China and Russia. What leadership insights did I take away from this book? I thought this book had a very similar flavor to, in terms of the content, as Destined for War. At times, the book feels like it's written in real time with references to the author's interactions with the late Senator John McCain. Some of the most impactful concepts to me in this book were as follows. Technology itself was never the goal. It's always the means to achieving the goal. A military Internet of Things will be built upon the concept of human commands and machine controls. As machines become more intelligent and capable of performing basic tasks that have always required humans to complete them, then commanders will delegate more of those tasks to the emerging military Internet of Things, the way civilians have begun to delegate monitoring events in their homes. A military Internet of Things will not only a military Internet of Things will not only refocus machines on their essential military purpose. The primary purpose of human beings in military affairs is their moral agency, their capacity to make strategic, operational, and ethical decisions, especially about the use of violence in war. I must admit, the idea of machines without human interaction makes me flash back to the movie I, Robot, and it makes you apprehensive about the technology in that capacity. I do understand the ultimate objective, to focus machines on what they can do so that humans can focus on what we must do. In the future, this book will influence the way I think about decentralized networks and move limited amounts of data rather than highly centralized networks that move tons of data. So for me, this had my mindset after reading this book in the terms of, how do we segment and decentralize data so that if something's compromised, they're not accessing or compromising or have access to the entire shebang of whatever was compromised. So I like to, sometimes I think in those compartmented, how do we segregate this and that so that everything isn't exposed? And that's where my mindset was after I read The Kill Chain. So I thought it was a good book. I know I compared it to Destined to War, but I didn't think it was, and I'm sorry, Graham Allison, for calling her book dry, but since that's not my primary focus or primary lane or content that I would normally consume, is why I'm saying it's dry. But I didn't think that The Kill Chain was dry. It's not my normal thing to consume either, but probably maybe the number of books I've consumed before I got to it maybe had me in a better place to receive it, if you will. But if you've read The Kill Chain, let me know what you think about The Kill Chain. Drop your comments in the comments section. If you haven't read The Kill Chain, I went through it on Audible as well, and it was pretty, there were some times when I wish I was not on Audible when I heard some of the things, because the way I like to do my Audible books is we have the hard copies, and I like to take the listen on Audible and like I'm following along in the book, and as they say something that I was like, oh, that's good, I'll go ahead and highlight it. But if I'm listening while I'm driving, then I have to try to remember, especially if I'm driving somewhere far, like more than 20 minutes is what I'm talking about far in this case, because that's a lot to try to remember all that stuff. But, anyways, it's easier for me to follow as I'm with my highlighter and highlight the things as I'm reading and listening than it is to try to remember everything that I thought was interesting or good while I'm driving, and it's that can become a distractor. So then I just try to maybe remember a key word or something so that I can go in what chapter I was in, so I can try to go back and find the key words and the concepts around that word and highlight it from there. But everybody has their own way of doing things. But if you've read this book and you thought it was great or good or didn't like it at all, I'd like to know that too. What are your thoughts on the kill chain? Um, Check out some of my other reviews that I've made videos on, and let me know if you've read those and what you think about those. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, because this content will go into my professional development playlist. And I'm going to beef up that playlist based on my experience going through this program. And if you have anything in particular you'd like for me to cover with the program or with my future book reviews, because I have, like, I would say at least 4 more books that I have to review and read um, within the series. So let me know if there's anything else you'd like for me to cover in addition to my book reviews or the initial points in terms of starting the program and anything of that nature. So make sure you share and like this video. If you have any comments, drop them in the comment section. Have an amazing rest of your day and go be great.